Let's walk on the wise path.
Think about this for a moment. What if you could access the thoughts, memories, and ideas of every human being on Earth? It sounds impossible, right? Like something from a futuristic sci-fi film where humans have evolved to share a collective mind. But what if I told you that a mysterious technology already exists, quietly hidden away from the public eye, and it allows exactly that? Yes, you heard me right. This isn't some far-fetched idea. It's real. And more shockingly, agencies like the CIA have been researching it for decades. Why hasn't anyone told you? Well, think about the implications. Governments thrive on control, and the ability to read and access every human thought is a level of power that goes beyond anything we can imagine. They don't want the masses to know. But today, we're going to crack open the secrets they've tried to bury and take a deep dive into this world of hidden technology. If accessing every thought sounds insane to you now, trust me, by the end of this video, you'll realize it's not only possible, it's already happening. Ready to open your mind to the truth? The evolution of impossible technologies. To fully grasp how accessing human thoughts might be possible, let's first take a walk through history. Just imagine living in the 1800s, when communication was limited to letters carried by horseback or ships. If someone came up to you back then and said, "One day, you'll be able to talk to someone on the other side of the planet," instantly, you'd probably think they were delusional. But fast forward to today, we call it a telephone. Or go even further back, before cameras existed. If I told you in the 1500s that I had a magical box that could capture and replay moments from people's lives long after they've passed, you'd probably call it sorcery. But now, we all use cameras, record videos, and share them online as if it's the most ordinary thing in the world. So, when we talk about the ability to access human thoughts, something that seems outlandish to us now, remember, technological breakthroughs always feel impossible until they happen. Just like the telephone and the camera once seemed fantastical, the technology to tap into human consciousness is closer than we think. The science behind the magic. How does this all work? Let's dive into the science behind what might seem like magic. It all starts with the Earth's magnetic field, an invisible yet powerful force that surrounds and permeates our planet. What most people don't realize is that every human brain operates within this magnetic field. Picture billions of brains, each emitting tiny amounts of electromagnetic energy, and all connected through this massive geomagnetic force. You might think your brain is isolated inside your skull, but in reality, it's plugged into a much larger system, a system with the potential to store and transmit all the thoughts, experiences, and emotions of every human being. Dr. Michael Persinger, a highly respected neuroscientist, discovered that the Earth's magnetic field has enough energy to store the collective experiences of every human who has ever lived. Imagine the Earth's magnetic field as a giant hard drive, and our brains as interconnected devices constantly uploading and downloading data. This discovery isn't just theoretical. It's backed by scientific studies showing how our brains interact with this field. The result? A vast, hidden network of human consciousness that we've barely begun to understand. It might sound unbelievable, but so did electricity before it was discovered. Global brain resonance, the human hologram. Now let's take it a step further. What happens when all these billions of brains are connected through the Earth's magnetic field? This is where the concept of global brain resonance comes in. Every brain generates a tiny amount of electromagnetic energy, about 1 trillionth of a Tesla. While this may seem insignificant, when billions of brains are immersed in the Earth's magnetic field, their energies can combine to create something much larger, a global resonance, or what some scientists call a human hologram. Dr. Persinger's research suggests that an event in one brain, a thought, a memory, an experience could spread to all other brains on the planet within about 10 minutes. This is especially likely to happen during altered states of consciousness, like when we're dreaming. Ever had a shared dream experience with someone? Or thought of someone right before they called you? This phenomenon could be a result of this global resonance. Essentially, our brains are not just isolated entities. They're constantly interacting with each other through this magnetic field. We're all part of a much larger interconnected network, even if we don't realize it. A network we've been using without knowing. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. We've likely been using this hidden brain network for centuries without even knowing it. Think of all the times you've had a gut feeling, a sudden premonition, or a sense of déjà vu. What if those weren't just random occurrences, but instead glimpses into this global brain connection? Perhaps we've all been subconsciously tapping into this collective consciousness, picking up on the thoughts, emotions, and experiences of others without realizing it. Experiments have been conducted to test this theory, and the results are shocking. In one study, participants were separated into different rooms. While one person looked at a picture, the other person, in a completely different room, described the image with eerie accuracy without ever seeing it. And it wasn't just a one-off fluke. These kinds of results have been replicated in multiple experiments, especially during times of low geomagnetic activity, when the Earth's magnetic field is calm and our brains are more sensitive to its influence. So, the next time you think about someone just before they call, or have a dream that feels like it's connected to someone else's experience, consider this: you might already be part of this incredible hidden network of human thought. The CIA's forbidden knowledge. With all this potential for connection and insight, you might wonder, why isn't this information common knowledge? The answer is simple: control. Governments, especially agencies like the CIA, thrive on control. They've known about this technology for decades and have been quietly researching it behind the scenes. But if everyone had access to the thoughts and emotions of others, the entire power structure of society could crumble. Think about it: governments, corporations, and even individuals rely on secrecy to maintain power. If we could all access each other's thoughts, no one could hide anything anymore. Throughout history, revolutionary technologies have always been met with resistance from those in power. The CIA and other intelligence agencies have actively worked to keep this mind-reading technology under wraps. Whenever it comes too close to public knowledge, it's dismissed as a conspiracy theory, ridiculed, or outright banned. Why? Because if we, the people, had access to this technology, it would shift the balance of power entirely. Knowledge is power, and the ability to access every human thought is the ultimate form of control. The last thing the CIA wants is for that power to be in your hands. The technology that could change everything. So, what exactly is this technology that could change everything? Dr. Persinger and other scientists have been working on devices that can amplify the connection between brains, allowing us to tap into this collective consciousness on demand. Think of it as the ultimate mind-reading tool, a way to sync two brains using a shared magnetic field, enabling them to communicate and share information over vast distances. This isn't just theoretical. It's been tested in real-world experiments. For example, in one study, a person in one room was shown a picture, while another person in a different room and in complete darkness was asked to describe it. The second person was able to accurately describe the picture without ever seeing it. The key to making this work? Synchronizing the two brains through a shared magnetic field, creating the perfect conditions for information transfer. This technology has the potential to revolutionize everything we know about communication, learning, and even relationships. Imagine being able to instantly share your thoughts, ideas, and emotions with another person, no matter where they are in the world. But with such immense power comes immense responsibility and danger. A world without secrets. Let's imagine for a second what the world would look like if everyone had access to this technology. No more secrets. No more lies. Governments would no longer be able to hide their actions from the public, and corporations couldn't manipulate us with hidden agendas. It would be a world of radical transparency, where every thought, every motive, and every emotion was laid bare for all to see. Sounds liberating, right? But it could also be terrifying. A world without secrets would force us to confront truths we might not be ready to handle. Imagine knowing exactly what everyone around you is thinking at all times. Would it bring us closer together, or would it drive us further apart? And what about privacy? If every thought is accessible, would we lose our sense of individuality? It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, this technology could eliminate corruption, greed, and dishonesty. On the other hand, it could also strip us of the very things that make us human, our ability to think and feel in private. As with any powerful tool, it's all about how we choose to use it. The possibilities and the dangers. The possibilities of this technology are endless, but so are the dangers. Yes, we could solve many of the world's biggest problems: poverty, inequality, corruption, but at what cost? Would we lose our sense of self in the process? Would we become part of a collective consciousness where individuality is sacrificed for the greater good? These are questions we need to ask ourselves as we move forward. Let's also consider the issue of control. If this technology becomes widely available, who gets to decide how it's used? Governments, corporations, or individuals? The CIA and other agencies have been working for years to keep this technology hidden, not because they fear its potential, but because they want to control it. They know that whoever controls this technology controls the world. The danger isn't just in the technology itself, but in how it could be weaponized. Imagine a world where your thoughts are no longer your own, where powerful organizations can tap into your mind and manipulate your emotions, desires, and decisions. The potential for abuse is staggering, and we must be cautious as we explore the possibilities. Could you train your brain to access it? Now, here's the part that will really blow your mind. You don't need a fancy government lab or high-tech gadgets to start accessing this hidden network. With the right training and techniques, you could potentially train your brain to tap into this collective consciousness on your own. Think of it as developing a new skill, like learning to play an instrument or mastering a sport. It takes practice, patience, and the right approach, but it's possible. Take Ingo Swann, for example, a man who worked on remote viewing projects for the CIA. Swann was able to train his brain to access information from great distances, picking up on thoughts, images, and experiences that were miles away. How did he do it? By tuning his brain to the right frequency. The key here is resonance. When your brain's frequency matches that of the Earth's magnetic field around 7 Hz, you can tap into this hidden network of thoughts and experiences. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Start by paying attention to your intuition, your gut feelings, and your dreams. These are often the first signs that you're accessing information from the collective consciousness. Practical applications. So, how can you start using this knowledge in your daily life? One practical application is honing your intuition. You know that gut feeling you sometimes get? The one that tells you something isn't right or nudges you in a certain direction? It might not just be random. It could be you tapping into the collective consciousness, picking up on information that's floating around in the magnetic field. The more you listen to your intuition, the stronger it becomes. Another area where this technology could be applied is in communication. Imagine being able to share not just words, but thoughts, ideas, and emotions directly with another person. This could revolutionize relationships, making misunderstandings a thing of the past. We could understand each other on a deeper, more empathetic level. And then there's the potential for learning. If you could tap into the knowledge and experiences of every human who has ever lived, the possibilities for education are endless. You could access the wisdom of the greatest minds in history, learning directly from their experiences. It's like having a universal library in your mind. The future of human connection. The future of human connection is about to change in ways we can barely comprehend. Right now, we rely on language, facial expressions, and body language to communicate with each other. But what if we didn't need those things anymore? What if we could directly share our thoughts, emotions, and experiences with one another? This kind of connection would go beyond words. It would be a form of communication that taps into the very essence of what it means to be human. Imagine a world where misunderstandings and conflicts are a thing of the past because we can truly understand each other's perspectives. This technology could make that possible. It could create a new era of empathy, where we're not just hearing each other, but experiencing each other's thoughts and emotions firsthand. Of course, this raises questions about privacy and individuality, but it also presents an incredible opportunity for growth. As we become more connected, we'll have the chance to evolve into a more compassionate, understanding species. This technology has the potential to bring us closer together in ways we've never thought possible, unlocking a new level of human connection. So, here we are, standing at the edge of a new frontier, a world where the thoughts of every human being are accessible, where secrets no longer exist, and where we are all connected through a vast hidden network of consciousness. It's both exhilarating and terrifying. The potential for positive change is enormous, but so is the potential for abuse. As we move forward, we need to ask ourselves some tough questions. How do we use this technology responsibly? How do we protect our individuality and privacy while still embracing the incredible opportunities this new level of connection offers? The answers won't be easy, but one thing is clear: the future is coming, and it's going to change everything we know about what it means to be human. Are you ready to step into that future? The technology is already here. It's just a matter of time before it becomes a part of our everyday lives. The question is, how will we use it? Will we rise to the occasion, or will we fall victim to the very power we seek to control? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: the world will never be the same again.